Okay, Bobby Ray, we're ready to film the latest episode, Grand Canyon. Okay, you about ready? Thank you for agreeing to film and edit this one. I think I'm going to go with the blue cap. Does it look okay? Alright, how's my new shirt? Alrighty, well, okay, let's cut there. I'm going to go get some coffee, and I'll be right back and we'll get underway. Now remember, I told you that you could be in the subscription scene, and that way you can get in the show today too, okay? Alrighty, I'll be right back. Sure, cousin kid, you can trust me. Okay, let's roll it. The Colorado River cuts a canyon through the land. It is a place so beautiful, we simply call it grand. Let's explore it. Welcome back to my travel window. Today we're going to complete our 7 parks in 7 days with one of America's most famous and most visited parks, the Grand Canyon. It is the most visited park in the West and the second most visited park in the United States after Great Smoky Mountains, which we'll cover in a future episode. Stay to the end and I'll tell you the story behind this Grand Canyon picture and why it so represents what we do on this channel. On our map, the final stop on our 1,100-mile journey to 7 parks in 7 days is the south entrance of Grand Canyon. This is the iconic part of the park that accounts for the vast majority of all annual visitors. From this entrance, the road will take you along the southern rim of the canyon to multiple lookout points with spectacular views of the red-hued rock walls. If you only see the canyon once, this is the place to start. But once you've seen the park from this perspective, you might appreciate the different view from the northern entrance to the park, which has a fraction of the visitors of the south, a shorter season, closing in October each year. The northern side of the canyon is 1,000 feet higher than the south and has many more trees, so it stays cooler in the summer. While most of the southern views are of sheer rock, many north rim slopes are shaggy with vegetation. Nevertheless, there are many excellent viewpoints, such as Bright Angels Point, shown here. I was struck by the significant differences not only in the scenery, but also in the ambiance between the south side and the north. From the south, you're acutely aware of the crowds and non-stop activity. It's very commercialized. We went to the north side in early October, just before they closed from the season. The difference was astounding. It felt like a whole different park. Everything was uncrowded, and this picture characterizes the feel of the day. Try it, you'll like it. Before we give other ways to see the canyon, let Bobby Ray and I invite you to like and subscribe our videos. This is the time where we ask you to like and subscribe to our channel. It doesn't cost anything. And what it does is tells YouTube that you want to see more of what we do. So please, just hit that like button, hit subscribe, and we'll be grateful. Thank you in advance. In addition to the 2 ways to see the canyon from multiple viewpoints on the north and the south rims, there is yet another way to see the canyon, and that's from the air. Helicopter rides initiate from the south rim, taking around 4 passengers at a time. My wife and I did this on our first trip to the park. Armed with headphones and a camera, the rides are comfortable, although there may be some initial nervousness. As you can see here, the rim of the canyon is a vast mesa, and your flight begins by flying over a forest. Initially, you can see nothing of the canyon. Suddenly, the ground drops away beneath you and you find yourself looking thousands of feet straight down at the canyon floor. And since the north side is higher than the south, the walls begin rising around you and you realize you're now flying inside the canyon. Here you can see the shaggy slopes from another angle. What more thrill than that? In addition to the public views of the canyon, there's also a private section. The western rim of the canyon is on native land, and the tribal members have partnered with a private investor to construct a 10-foot wide glass walkway from which you can gaze down 4,000 feet at the canyon directly below your feet. There are a variety of packages, which could include river or helicopter trips in addition to the skywalk. It is somewhat ambitious to get to, and the prices are not cheap. Finally, it's also possible to hike down into the canyon. This can be dangerous, as a memorial at one location reminds visitors of a 24-year-old marathoner who became dehydrated in the canyon and died. A popular hike is to go down one side of the canyon, spend the night at the bottom, some choices being the Bright Angel Campground or Phantom Ranch. The following day, you can return up the same side or up the opposite side. Estimates are that it takes about 5 hours to go down the south side, 6 hours from the north. But the return trip takes 3 times as long, so particularly from the north side, this is an all-day affair. The most famous of these trails is Bright Angel Trail, shown here, with an average incline of 10%. Please note that Grand Canyon hikes require a backcountry permit, which generally speaking requires application months in advance and is a lottery with no guaranteed access. Check the National Park site for more details. As far as RV parks, there are several locations to stay around the park. When we visited from the north, we used the town of Kanab as our home base, actually staying in Fredonia, an Arizona town just across the border. The town of Williams, about 60 miles from the south entrance, is generally the hub for access from that point. As promised, here's the story behind this picture. My wife grew up on a farm where summer was the prime working season and vacations rare. Finally, in her senior year of high school, the family bought a camper and vowed to take a graduation trip from Washington State to the Grand Canyon. But just weeks before graduation, her mom died unexpectedly. My wife never made it to the canyon that year. When we married, I vowed that I would take her there. But it took me almost 40 years to fulfill that promise. She soaked up every moment of the experience when we finally arrived. As the sun set on our first night there, I captured this photo. I treasure it as a reminder that life is short and no plans are guaranteed. Next time, we're going to look at a different way to travel, called home exchange.
Home exchange? What's that?
Well, what do you think home exchange is? It's just what it sounds like. Or maybe not. Tune in next time to find out. Until then, safe travels.